Welcome to Two Chicks and a Horror Flick, a weekly horror movie review podcast. I'm Tawny Ray.
And I'm Felicia Connor. Subscribe to get new episodes every Wednesday. We dive into trivia, drink a little whiskey, and of course, give our no BS opinions.
Join our Discord server or message us on social media to talk all things scary.
And if you like the show, consider supporting us on Patreon.
You can find all these links on our website, twochicksandahorrorflick.com. Thanks for listening.
Now let's get scared. Hello, everyone. We are back. We are excited. Today, Tawny and I are talking about Barbarian 2022, the one that just came out the past few days, came out on Thursday night, officially on Friday. And so we're excited to talk about that. But before we do, what are you drinking?
I have some Scotch whiskey, that Aberfeldy. Still drinking that. Yeah. What about you?
I want to try that because you said it tasted kind of like chocolate.
Oh, yeah. Wait, after the fact? Okay. Because if you listen to the episode, I was talking about why it tasted different and I couldn't put my finger on it until way later. And I was like, it tastes like chocolate. The aftertaste is so sweet, so much sweeter than bourbon now. Anyway, yeah.
Oh, I want to try that because I like chocolate flavored things like chocolate beer. A Chocolate's beer is so yummy.
Ooh.
But
I'm not a fan of chocolate things, but this is good. So
good. I am drinking Prosecco, but the reason it looks orange is Steve was getting all fancy. And he's like, I got you your Prosecco and I squeezed some orange in it. So now you have a little mimosa and it's very yummy.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wish I had a mimosa.
It's very good. It's refreshing.
Good.
So, what have you been watching, listening to, reading?
I was going to say, have you realized that it has been, I think, 3 weeks since we've spoken, just us, right? Because our last episode, we had the Fright Crew on. So if you haven't checked out that episode, go check out that episode with them. We did the movie Angst, which they brought to us, which was an Austrian horror film. Very interesting discussion.
Yeah.
Lil dark. Okay, so prepare yourself for that because we get into some true crime type things. But if you haven't listened to it, go check it out. Anyway, but that, we usually don't do a catch up on those episodes because there's just not time to. Yes. And so we haven't talked in so fucking long. I tried to go back and actually make a list of all the things that I watched, and I'm not 100% sure that I got it all, but we'll just roll with what I remember. So
I love it.
Yes. So you asked me, right? Am I starting?
Yeah, you're starting.
Okay, I'll try to keep it fast. We watched Day Shift with Jamie Foxx and James Franco? Dave Franco. I think it's Dave Franco. Maybe? I don't remember. Anyway.
Is it James Franco? Or that's not the
No,
actor?
I think it's his brother, Dave Franco.
Okay.
Because I was like, is that James Franco? We had this whole conversation. He's like, I think it's his brother. And I was like, he has a brother?
I didn't know that either.
It's Dave Franco. They look very similar. Anyway, yeah, it was really good. It was really, I was surprised at how much I liked it. And I think you, Felicia, have you seen it? I'm assuming no. You're going to like it. And I'm not going to tell you why. You're just going to have to go watch it and report back. Okay. But it was very fun. It's a fun action movie.
Okay.
I also watched Love in the Villa from Netflix, which will be important for our discussion later.
Okay. This is exciting. It's a lot of build-up here.
Well, because the premise is the same. Two people book the same Airbnb. But this is a romance movie.
This is when it goes well.
Cat Graham. And then we watched Lost City and Me Time, which were both not good movies, and we just ended up watching them because, sometimes you just throw shit on, you're like, let's see how this goes. I think Lost City had a couple good moments, and then Me Time was just fucking not good with Kevin Hart and Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, yes. Oh, I've been seeing that. Okay, not good. I haven't seen it. Okay.
I don't recommend it. It was not good. Anyway, aside from all of that, the most important thing that we have been watching, we've been watching both Power of the Rings of Power. I keep fucking up the name. And House of the Dragon. Have you started watching House of the Dragon?
Mm-mm.
You were big into Game of Thrones, though, weren't you?
was not, well, yes, I was. I was to a point. Remember, that's the one where we kind of dropped off and then everyone was talking shit. So then we didn't go back to it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm really enjoying it. I wasn't so sure on the first episode, but we're now up to, I think, 3 episodes. And I'm like fully aboard the hype train again. I did like hours of YouTube research last weekend, which was my only fucking weekend off for the past like 87 summer weeks for some reason. We've been busier this summer than we ever have in our entire lives. Like we've just done so many activities. So anyway, last weekend was the only weekend off, and I just spent that time like doing nothing by myself. It was great.
Oh yeah.
Very restorative. And most of that time was spent watching YouTube lore videos about House of the Dragon and the whole whatever. Anyway, love it. So I'm like here for this. I'm ready. I'm watching the episodes right as they come out. I'm reading the subreddit. I'm talking about it with people at work. I feel like I'm right back in with like Game of Thrones. I'm here for this TV, like, you know, universal experience. So I'm stoked.
Oh, that is exciting because I love feeling that way. Like when we were watched Stranger Things was the last thing where I just felt like.
Yes, you're like part of something, you know, everybody's watching it at the same time. You get to talk to people about it and like nerd out. Yeah. I just love it.
Hyper fan. Like I fucking wanted gear. I wanted like the makeup line. I'm in it. I'm thinking about it. I'm feeling it. These are my people.
Yes. So I'm super excited about that. Rings of Power is all right. The first episode of Rings of Power, I was like super stoked. And every episode after that has kind of like dropped a little bit for me. Like I'm less and less interested, and I'm more and more interested in House of the Dragon. And people are pissed online because everybody's comparing these 2 shows. But listen, I'm here to just say these 2 fucking high fantasy shows come out at the same exact time in a situation where we're all waiting for the next Game of Thrones. So I'm sorry, they're going to get compared. Everybody just deal with it, okay?
The one that is based off the Lord of the Rings, right? What part of the story is it taking place?
It's also a prequel. It's like set way before the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit. I did that backwards because the Hobbit is before Lord of the Rings. But anyway.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
That is that's mainly what I've been doing and watching. What about you? What's your update?
So, we have been binging Keeping Up with the Kardashians is one.
Not what I thought you would say.
Let me just tell you guys, I didn't initiate this. My daughter would come home I don't know how she got into it, but she's been binging it. So I don't binge it as much. I didn't start with her. She started at the beginning. And then she would start coming home from school and watching it in the living room. And I would sit and get caught up in it. Okay. I can tell you this. I really like the Kardashian family. I had no idea. I really just thought, oh, just a bunch of snotty, pampered rich people who didn't want to have anything to do with it. Kind of reminded me of the few episodes of the like Orange County Housewives or those housewives shows where they all just are hanging out with each other and fucking hate each other and like are just catty and negative. And I typically don't like those types of shows because I start to feel real stressed and pissed off. So look, it's not my life. I don't know these people, Felicia. So I don't want to feel that way. So I would never watch the Kardashians. I've never seen it. And then there was a couple of things that I just assumed about them. Like there was, and I've had an enlightenment. I've had an epiphany watching the show. What I really don't like that people do is just share headlines and they don't actually know the full story and they spread, anger, hate, fear, and all of that. That's like, I hate when people do that. And I was totally doing that about the Kardashians because I read this thing that, Kim, she had a surrogate mother for her babies because she didn't want to ruin her body. And that's not the case at all. Like she had like all these health issues that she had to have surgeries for after actually delivering her first 2 babies and like all of this different stuff that I was reading the headlines and thinking, ugh, these people are obnoxious. And going in, like they like really love each other, and the family like are very interesting and funny. Like Kim and Chloe, Courtney, they were like super goofy, and I don't know, I was just really enjoying it, and I was like, wow,
Interesting.
I had no idea. They have a lot of money, of course, they could do whatever they want, but they also, I don't know, they had a lot. It has a lot of heart, and they really love each other. And I always find it fascinating, people that have just so much money, like seeing how they spend it and how they decorate and stuff like that. But something I noticed last night is, gosh, when you have so much money that you literally can do anything, have anything, go anywhere, there's a point where that's where you're bored. And I think I'm seeing that in this show. Like they're going to these amazing places and they're kind of like, yeah, this is real pretty, but you know, and then go here. And there's a point like, what do you even do for somebody that has so much? You know what I mean? But anyways, so thank you, Kardashian family, for like giving me some epiphanies and enlightenment there. I appreciate you. We also watched This Is 40. If you haven't seen it, it's been out. It's so funny. It's hilarious. It has, what's his name? Apatow? Judd
Apatow?
Yeah. Yes. I think, yeah.
He's in it?
Hold on a second.
It sounds like he made the movie. He's usually
Why did that even come into my head?
I think because he's probably I don't know if he usually directs or produces.
Oh, you're right.
Or writes or something. Maybe all of them.
No, you're right. Judd Apatow, sorry, he is the director. And his wife, I believe, is Leslie Mann, right? And she's the main character in it. There's Paul Rudd, Melissa McCarthy, super, super funny. And if you're 40 like I am, or in your 40s like I am, you're gonna resonate with this. So super funny. Love it. Then we moved into Crazy Stupid Love. I watched that with my oldest.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah, she'd never seen it. And I'm like, we have to watch this. So that was super fun.
Oh my God. I love Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling, obviously. So that was a hit. Paige actually made me watch that. She gave me her DVD because I hadn't seen it. And I can't believe I waited so long to watch it.
Oh, good. Oh my God.
Steve Carell. Oh, yeah, it's great.
Julia Moore.
Oh, yeah, I forgot she was in there too.
Really, really
fun.
Just fun and hopeful and loving. So great movie. Then the whole family, me and Steve and the older girls, all went and saw Bullet Train.
Oh, yeah.
So much fun.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I loved the movie. I liked the movie. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Loved the two characters that I'm forgetting their names, but they played the twins. So if you see it, when you see it, or whatever, those two guys were just awesome.
Okay.
Super great. So we saw Bullet Train. That's in the theater. And last but not least, and then I'll be quiet, is Servant on Apple TV. You guys, I'm already on episode 10, moving into episode 11.
We literally just went, because we went and saw this movie last night. We went to dinner with a group of us, and my friends were talking about Servant 2. And so, all right, I'm going to have to check this out.
So addicted. Okay, I'm so addicted. I want to watch it right as soon as we're done here. I'm trying to find time in the day where someone's not watching the TV so I could watch it. I absolutely love it. It's very fascinating, and I just can't wait to find out what happens. There's 3 seasons.
Yeah, it's been on for a while.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Oh, man. I feel like the last several times we've recorded and you've said what you were watching, I haven't seen, or I'm not watching any of it, you know? So I'm like, I've got nothing.
Well, everything you said, I haven't seen either.
Yeah, we've gone in different directions since The Great. Well, and then there was Severance. We watched that together. And Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, yeah.
Okay, it's been a lot.
And 3 things, yeah.
Yeah. Since Stranger Things, though, I think we have kind of split and watched different things.
Yeah, it's funny. We both were seduced to watch Woodstock 99 at the same time. I think I watched mine weird. Just a few days or a week before you.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
Yeah, I don't think I have any other updates.
All right. Well, then let's talk about this movie.
Okay.
All right. So we are watching Barbarian 2022 in theaters now. I watched it in the movie theater because I always tell you where I watch stuff. So the director is Zach Cregger, and he's an actor, comedian, writer, director, producer, and a Twitch streamer. So I didn't recognize any of the films that he had done in the past. I can bring some stuff up. It was really hard. Like some he was an actor, some he directed, some he did this. So look him up if you want to know. But I know he does all that stuff, and the Twitch streamer thing seemed to be big. So I don't know. For those that are really into Twitch, like, was he a famous Twitch streamer or?
That confuses me because I thought, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Felicia, I thought this guy, isn't he one of the guys on The Whitest Kids You Know?
Yes. Yes, yes.
Is a show I did not watch, so I have no idea, but I just, I saw a comment about that and I recognized his face.
Yes, he was on that. He played various roles on that, and he was also the executive producer. So as far as and he was in About a Boy and some other stuff that I don't recognize, but Wrecked, Just Roll With It. The Whitest Kids You Know, though, was the one I think that the most people recognize. And then as far as...
Does he just stream games?
Yeah, because when I look at filmography and stuff, it just shows all the acting stuff that he's been in.
Okay.
Oh, wait a second. In Barbarian, he played Everett, and he's also the director and writer. I don't remember who Everett was.
I don't either.
Huh. Interesting. He was the director of the Civil War on Drugs.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And when I see the Twitch streamer, it just says and Twitch streamer.
Okay. Very weird. This kind of reminded me of, not the movie, but him, because he's coming from sketch comedy. He's the only thing I know of him, The Whitest Kids You Know, which I'm pretty sure is sketch comedy. And then to turn around and direct a horror film felt Jordan Peele-esque to me.
You're right.
It's a little bit of a jump. I don't know.
He did say somewhere I read that he wants to do more horror movies. So this Mr. Cregger also wrote this. He's the writer as well. Our cast, we have Georgina Campbell as Tess, Bill Skarsgård, as Keith, Justin Long as AJ, Richard Brake as Frank, and then Matthew Patrick Davis as the mother. I couldn't find much budget information. It's very, very new, as I mentioned earlier, but they do so far have a box office of 3.9 million. So it opened Thursday night, officially opened Friday. And so 3.9 million as we talk today on Sunday. Rotten Tomatoes has a 74% audience score and a 92% thermometer.
Okay.
IMDb so far has 7.6 out of 10, and Letterboxd so far has 3.9 out of 5.
Okay. I was curious about the Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. That is all I have so far. And now we will move into 2 minutes with Tawny.
Yes. It's very long. And I'm going to say what we have said many times over the last several episodes. I'm going to spoil the shit out of this brand new movie. So if you don't want it spoiled, and I recommend that you do not spoil it, if you want to see it, go see it in theaters. If you can. So turn back now. And we are gonna get into it. Okay. It's a long one because it was hard. So we got some twists and turns here. So Tess arrives at her Airbnb on a rainy night, but can't get in. A man answers the door, and we learn they both booked the same place. She goes inside to call around to find a different place to stay, but Keith tells her there's a conference in town, which explains why there are no vacancies. He offers to have her stay the night and take the bedroom while he sleeps on the couch. They chat for a while, get to know each other, and have a good time before going to sleep, but Tess wakes up in the middle of the night to find her door open and Keith sleeping fitfully on the couch. She goes back to sleep and goes to an interview the next day. Walking out of the house, she discovers the neighborhood is in complete disrepair and abandoned. Houses are either burned down or boarded up except for the one they're in. After her interview, she returns to the Airbnb and discovers a hidden passage in the basement. It leads to a scary room with a bed and a camera and has obviously been used to torture people or something fucking terrible. She gets locked in the basement and has to wait for Keith to get back to free her. When he goes to check the room out, he discovers an even deeper tunnel and starts screaming for Tess's help. She goes into the tunnel and Keith gets his head bashed in by a woman-like creature. We abruptly cut to a man driving along a coast named AJ. He works in Hollywood and receives a call informing him he's been accused of raping a woman and is fired from the project he's on. This leads him to liquidate his assets to come up with some money, including some homes he owns in Detroit. He arrives at the house that Tess and Keith were in to find their belongings still there and the basement door propped open. We learn he did rape the woman and is an all-around fucking idiot because when he finds the hidden passage, he gets excited to list the house with more square footage. This leads him into the tunnels with a tape measure. He gets captured by the creature and thrown into a dungeon with Tess. Suddenly, we are thrown into another time and place with an older man in the 80s, I think, I should have fact-checked that, named Frank. He's obviously up to no good, shopping around for plastic sheets and other weird shit. He stalks a woman from the grocery store and is definitely the person who is torturing people in the basement of what we now realize was his house. Back to the pit in current time, with AJ and Tess. She begs him to calm down, and the creature places a baby bottle in the hole for them to drink from. She tries to get AJ to do it, but he won't, so she takes him out of the hole. This is the mother creature. Sometimes it's a little confusing when you got a couple of, people that I'm just referring to as she. Sorry. Tess uses this moment to try to escape and successfully gets out of the basement with some help from a person who's lived in the neighborhood for 15 years. He's aware of the woman in the tunnels and says she can come out at night and that she's not the scariest thing down there. He tries to convince her to run away, but she doesn't want to leave AJ. She flags down some cops who don't help because she seems insane or on drugs. So she tries to help AJ by killing the woman with her car, because she gets lured out at night. She goes back into the tunnels to find him, but by this point, AJ has found old Frank holed up in another room with all of his torture tapes. He shoots himself, and AJ takes the gun. He accidentally shoots Tess in the stomach in the tunnels, and they get out of there seeking refuge with the man Tess met earlier. The mother creature returns, kills him, and AJ and Tess run to the top of the water tower. AJ throws Tess off the top to save himself, but the mother jumps after her, breaking her fall. Tess is alive, but so is the creature who gouges out AJ's eyes. Tess shoots her and limps off while the sun comes up. The end.
Amazing. And while you were delivering your 2 minutes with Tawny, unbeknownst to you, I posted on our Instagram behind the scenes with 2 minutes with Tawny.
Awesome.
Oh, very good job. Okay. That is that. Tawny, how did you feel about this movie?
I hate that I'm going first, actually.
Do you want me to go first?
I don't know.
Would you like that more, or do you want to go first? I have a fresh mimosa, so I'm warmed up and could go first if you want.
I'll go first. I feel like it's rude of me to want you to go first. I, despite everything, and despite who I am as a person, somehow fucking really liked this movie. I don't know. And Jade and I were the only ones. Okay, everybody else hated this. Hated it. So I did something I don't usually do, and I looked up just online to see how people felt about it. I usually avoid doing this because I feel like it's kind of research, and I don't want to come across things that you're gonna tell me about the movie or whatever. But I was like, am I fucking crazy? I sought some external validation because I was like, this shit was wild. Don't get me wrong. There were some things I really did not like. And I think we pushed the boundary into comedic in some of these moments where I really didn't like. But, oh my God, it was a wild ride. And I feel like this is going to be, sat right next to Malignant. People are going to compare these a lot because they're similar in the way that they're just like wild and they go places that you kind of don't expect them to. But I think this is a far superior movie to Malignant. I fucking hated Malignant, which is why we have not covered it.
Okay, I was like, I haven't seen it yet because Tawny loves it so much. So
spoiler alert. No. But I think this is way better for many different reasons. So that's kind of where I landed, is I fucking somehow really liked it. But there were things that I didn't love. So we can definitely talk more about that. But how did you feel about it? I'm scared that you fucking hated it.
I feel the exact same way as you do.
Really?
It was so, which surprises me. And I feel when I was looking through the reviews and how people were feeling, it really is split like that. And I think the reason is there were so many good elements. There was a lot of scary, dreadful, disturbing elements that gets you on board. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
What? All of a sudden you're jolted into this what? And you start to feel, I don't know, I started to feel, I shouldn't say everyone did. I started to feel like, oh God, I may not like this.
Yeah.
But it kept going, adding those elements that were like, no, you know what? Maybe I like this. So I think I feel the exact same way you do. There was so much that I liked, and there were definitely some pieces that I didn't like that were verging on comedic. So left me very excited to hear what everybody in the horror community has to say about this movie. That's where it left me. I went and saw it with, I'm really glad I didn't bring Steve. He did not want to go. I asked him and he was like, nah, I'm not really into watching another horror movie right now. And I'm like, okay. So I brought my middle daughter.
Steve would have killed me. He would have murdered me. He would have come to this state to murder me for making him watch it.
It would have been, who picked this movie? Yeah, Tawny? Okay, there is no more two chicks in a horror flick, Felicia.
I'll be back.
No, just kidding.
I'll be back in a few days.
Yeah. He would have loathed it. But I brought my daughter. I think she pretty much feels the same way about it. She was like, what that? We had a blast together. So it was a really nice time together. But I kept telling her, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that this now is in your mind. But we had a whole lot of fun.
Sorry. I apologize too to my group of people because it was me. I'm the one who was like, let's go watch this movie. And everybody, we leave and everybody was like, that is so fucking stupid. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I feel like I just wasted my time. Like everybody was so mad. And I was like, I'm sorry.
Oh my God. And it's hard because I can understand why they felt that way in general. Like I could see this as soon as I walked away. I was telling my daughter, oh my God, thank God you came with me and not Steve. Yeah. Because he would have divorced me. And then when I got home, I was like, okay, he really hated Nope. We had talked about that. And he was like, oh, it's the worst movie ever made, which is ridiculous. But I said, okay, so you can never say that again because I'm letting you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This would have been a worse experience for you than Nope.
I want to know the update without any sort of spoiling because we cannot spoil Nope for people.
Yeah.
After our conversation, did you go back and bring the Nope information to him and did it change his mind?
Oh, yes. Yes-ish.
Okay.
No-ish. He liked the information. He was like, okay, that makes sense. But he was really clinging to, I didn't pick that up and I didn't experience that when I was watching it. So I still have to say that I don't like that movie.
Yeah.
And I think he sticks to the worst movie ever made because he knows how it riles me up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You can't say that. So he loves to rile me up.
Yeah.
But I went in and said, you can never say that again because of this movie. Just trust me. You would have hated this probably even more than The Mist.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee.
100,000%. Are you kidding? Yeah. Yes.
But I wish he would have seen it too, just so I could just see him look at me like, are you fucking kidding me? I could just imagine.
Yeah. Oh, it's wild. I mean,
It's wild.
Felicia can attest to this. I was like, give me like 20 minutes. I'm going to write this synopsis. I'm like 45 minutes later, I'm like still trying to write the synopsis, trying to keep it short, but you fucking can't. You got to like say basically everything that happens. Otherwise it does not make sense. Oh, what a wild fucking ride. I also felt a little bit like, yeah, people are going to feel baited and switched. Like, this is a bait and switch, right? I felt that way even a little bit from watching the trailer. I usually try to avoid trailers. Sometimes I'll watch them. I watched this one months ago, just one time, and I thought, that looks creepy as fuck. That's the most excited I've been watching a trailer since The Conjuring, and I am definitely seeing that movie. And so, but I tried to go in with still, like, not super high expectations, because, you know, that's how you fuck it up for yourself. So I tried to go in low. And I did feel like you gave me a different movie than what I signed up for. And I want to be mad about it, but I kind of can't be.
Yes. Yeah, I really appreciate it. And I had that in my notes that it was finally a trailer that didn't let everything out of the bag.
Yeah.
You know, like because it wasn't a bad bait. Right? Because it was still very intriguing. It wasn't like, oh, this is going to be good and you go and it's dog shit.
Yeah.
It was still intriguing. And I like that I didn't know everything that was going on. I like that I was surprised. But I don't know. On the other hand, I was really looking forward also to this movie where, you know, Eric Skarsgård is the bad guy that maybe has this Airbnb, that this is his setup. Like he gets people by posting this. And I'm excited for that movie too. So maybe someone wants to make that movie.
Yeah.
But this is next level.
Yeah.
Totally next level. Excuse me.
It was fucking crazy. So I don't know. Like just starting at the beginning.
Let's get into it. Yeah.
Oh, Bill Skarsgård. Amazing. And she did a really great job. I don't remember her name.
Her name is Georgina.
Georgina, yeah. Both of them, I thought, did an amazing job acting.
Me too.
However, Justin Long really took, like...
Dude.
he stole it. I can't believe how good he did. Anyway, sorry, getting ahead of myself, but just as far as acting goes, I feel like they did a really, really good job.
Yes.
I love Bill Skarsgård. And so the whole dynamic with them, one of the first things, just right off the top, I'll say, I do agree that she made kind of stupid decisions, like going into the house, deciding to stay. But I don't feel like it was super over the top either. You know, he seemed... I mean, obviously, the thing that's hard to reconcile here is I, as a person, would not have done probably what happened, right? If I had been faced with this situation, even if I couldn't get in another hotel, I might just go sleep in my car somewhere. Like,
it's pretty scary outside, though.
No, but I'd go find, like, fucking super rich neighborhood area or something. Yeah, like, somewhere.
She had a job interview the next day. And needs to be showered and fresh.
Oh, that's a good point. I'm ready to like buy into this movie. So I'm like, great.
Like, yeah. I would stay.
You're right. No, but I think you can get there in your head. You know, like, yeah, it's a dicey situation, but he offers for her to sleep in the bedroom where she can lock the door. You know, he offers later to like open the wine in front of her. And so you start to get lulled in by this guy. And the whole time you're watching it, because you know you're watching a horror movie, you do kind of go back and forth. You're like, this guy's a fucking murderer. Maybe he's all right. No, but I think he's a fucking murderer. But maybe he's okay. No, I think this guy's a fucking murderer. Right? Yeah. You do that the whole way. But I liked how he wasn't. It was like totally a red herring.
All the way, you're like, no, until you're like, oh shit, he's not. Right? You're like, so.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. Okay. So he's not the bad guy. I totally agree. I thought there were, with a couple exceptions, they gave good reasons why she stayed or she did certain things that she did.
I thought you were going to hate this. Okay, so I'm glad to know that you weren't like totally put off by these.
Yeah. No, not. So as far as staying, I was like, oh man, they really set that up good because when she calls, it's a woman, it's a management a legit management site. There's a woman saying, and the reason I say a woman, because he's a man. So like he was faking this, but did he get some woman to record a fake thing about the Airbnb? I'm talking about when she called and had to leave a message.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he sent himself an email from this other thing that had he could have done all this. That's what I was thinking. He staged all of it, but it would be very convincing. And then he was really nice. No, you sleep in the room. There's a lock on the room that she didn't use. Because they didn't show if she actually locked the door the first time she went to sleep. But
she definitely did not. Like that was
She was into him and feeling loose.
Yeah, they had some wine. They chatted. They had similar interests. Like she let her guard down, and because he seemed like an all right guy, and
he was actually
So
that's the catch. Is he was just a good guy, and so. The one thing I would have done differently, I wouldn't have taken his word for it when he said, oh, shoot, there's a medical convention. You're not going to find any openings. So when he did that, she's like, oh, and then just stopped trying to find a hotel room.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
going.
I would have kept trying. Come to find out, he's not lying.
Yeah.
So, she wouldn't have found anything, but I would have at least tried a few more. And then if I hadn't found anything, I don't know. I don't know. I might maybe have stayed.
Yeah.
Where would I have gone?
Right. Where do you go? And if you felt like you could protect yourself, if you had like pepper spray or something and you could lock that door and stay in there, maybe, he showed her his email, like you're saying, it looked like it was just a booking error. And the one thing I would have done differently, she takes a picture of his ID and does not bother to send that to anybody. That bothered me. I was like, obviously you send that to your best friend. You go, hey, listen, double booked this Airbnb in this room with this guy in case he murders me. So you can have his contact information. I was like, what's the point of taking the picture? Or Google him. That's what Jade said. Jade was like, I thought she was going to Google him and find that he wasn't a real person or that he was. We didn't know. But I kind of loved him as a character. I kind of was like, this guy is... I feel like the development, this is one of the things I loved, is the development of him and them interacting. The moment he opens the door, he's kind of fucking mean to her. He's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Because he just woke up. It's in the middle of the night. But as time goes on, he kind of like wakes up and warms up and is trying to not be like intimidating. He realizes that this is a very scary situation probably for her to be in, and is like trying to, overcome that by being like, I thought maybe you didn't want to drink that tea because you didn't see me pour it. And so I'll open this wine in front of you if you want to have some of it. And he was like very nervous, but I saw like the makings of a romance situation, a subplot. Okay. And it's probably because also I've been reading solely romance books for the last almost year now, but I was fucking here for it. I was like, I wasn't sure. I was like, this guy seems like he might be a murderer, but based on the trailer, there's a couple things that we saw in the trailer that led me to think this is going to be a red herring and he's not going to be a murderer. And so I wasn't 100% sure, but I was definitely leaning towards this guy is not a bad guy. So I was here for it. And he was just like super nervous. But you find later in the movie, Justin Long, AJ, finds that Jane Eyre romance book in the suitcase of his. And he's like a romantic, like he wants, like I think he felt like, oh, is this like fate or something, that we have like met. Yeah. And that's why I was saying I watched that other fucking romance movie, Love in the Villa. It's the same premise. It's a romance because they double book and have to stay together. It's called forced proximity is the name of the trope in romance books. And I just was like, oh, this is cute.
I love that. Oh, shit. So when they found Jane Eyre, I thought he was looking through the guy's suitcase. And then when I saw the book, I thought, oh, was that her suitcase?
I thought the opposite. Like, okay. Which is like a weird, maybe gender thing that both of us fell into. Because I was also like, oh, he was looking through her suitcase. She must have been the one reading the Jane Eyre. And Jade was like, no, that was his suitcase. I was like, that makes total fucking sense, though, because he was like, you saw him kind of light up as he woke up. And I think that's really, I'm going back to the first thing I said. I just had like 87 thoughts in a row, and I'm coming back around, and I'm sorry. But I think that's something that they did well and felt really realistic because that's how you act, right? You kind of have to, especially if you're woken up in the middle of the night, you're kind of rude, You're like, what the fuck is going on? But he like really warmed up and I liked how that dynamic changed. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, we had the same. I thought it was his. Then I was like, oh no, that's her bag because of the book. Like men don't read. I don't know. My husband doesn't really like reading. So I just assumed he's not reading Jane Eyre. But
yeah, well, and men read romance too. So,
Yeah, they do. They do. Okay, that was a lot of fun. I totally agree with all of that. So I bought into why she was making certain decisions she was making. And then in the middle of the night when her door opened and then he was on the having nightmares, I was like, oh, he's faking this shit. He's faking it. He's going to fuck with her. Oh my God, this is crazy. And then she, that whole interaction happened where she woke him up and he was like, jolted, what have you. And then was it this scene when she walked by where we see the door to the basement close?
Yeah.
And that's when we're like, oh, no, wait a second. There's someone else involved. I still didn't think, though, that he wasn't completely involved. Okay. I thought maybe it was like a
he had a partner or something with him. Yeah.
Yes. I did want to say one thing. I loved the transitions. So I know some of the transitions were very jolting, but I also I liked it. So for example, right after this whole interaction, she lies down, she's laying in bed and she's like, oh, and she rolls over, boom, it's day.
Yeah. I like this too.
I love that. And they did that several times. So they did it with that. They did it when I believe it was her that was walking out of the door. And when the person walking out of the door is in the 50s and it is Frank. So now we have a flashback and we are in the 50s with him and this bright color and all of that. I really like these transitions. I can say when it transitioned to now Justin Long, that was phenomenal because this stuff happened and all of a sudden, boom, and it almost felt surreal to me. Like, oh shit, am I watching the same movie? Or
totally.
Did they accidentally like flip the film for the movie and now I'm watching something totally different? I felt, am I high? I'm not, unless they like put something in the popcorn. But that was like a jolting transition. And one of the things when the director when Cregger was shopping the script or sending it all around looking for somebody to make this movie, they didn't want it. They said, you can't introduce this new, major character, in the middle of the story. Yeah. This is too weird. Nobody wanted it in the beginning because of that. But I have a little more about that. But before I share anything, I'll let you speak.
Well, I kind of want to go backwards. So maybe.
Yeah, let's go backwards.
Okay. Because I know I'm really like holding us to this first act.
There's a lot in there and I totally just boom, 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 skipped a bunch.
Oh, no worries. And I don't want to like spend all of our time here because I know there's like a lot that happens after this. But I think this is my favorite part, which is why I want to talk about a lot of what happens. So then she gets locked in the basement, right? Mm. Do you also feel like these decisions that she makes after this point make sense?
Yeah. So I like that you want to stay. I do too. I like that you want to also stay in the beginning because I just got on this little train and I've been drinking some mimosas of the transitions that leapfrogged me way ahead of the beginning is what was so fucking scary. Yeah. That I think is hard for me to walk away from this movie and say, oh, this is fucking stupid after different things are introduced because it's so good.
It's so compelling. Yeah.
Yes. So she gets locked down in the basement and she's totally stuck and she's waiting for him to come home so she can be like, hey, she has the key so he can't get in. Yeah. So she's kind of just waiting there.
She doesn't have her phone. I love the way they did that. They showed her go like the whole camera dollies into the phone on the counter and she goes, oh, because she remembers. I love that. And then the same thing happens with the key box, we like, oh shit. So you walk through that process with her in her head. Oh no. I'm trapped down here until he comes back. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, no, that's great. I love how they did that too. Then she's in there and she's bored and she finds a secret door. Okay, here's the thing. Are you kidding me? If I had, who doesn't want to go in to see what's in the secret door? I mean, it's scary and we know we're watching a horror movie, but it's also intriguing. And I think if, like this house I'm living in now, if I found some type of a hidden door that led me, I would want to know what's fucking down there. Now, I would be like, okay, the whole family's involved. You stay here. You go here. We're going in with flashlights.
Yeah.
I would be more planned with it like that because I would be paranoid. But I definitely would want to go explore. I would. So when she finds it and she's bored and she's in there, I thought it was really clever how she's reflecting the light with the mirror. There's part of you that's like, don't go in there. Of course, don't go in there, especially because you're alone. But there's such a fine line that you understand why she does as well, because it's intriguing.
I thought I would have done this, not from a curiosity standpoint or a boredom standpoint. I would have done it because I'm out of options. I can't leave through the door. I can't go through the window. No, I don't know when this guy's coming back. Maybe that's a door, because you can kind of see that there is a doorknob down there in the bottom of the hall. You can see something shiny that looks like a door handle. And so I thought maybe that's a way out. Like for all I know that's, you know how some people have those basements with the doors that like flop open in the ground, and that's how you go down into the basement. That's what I thought is maybe... Oh, that's another way out that I haven't explored. She arrives at this house in the dark and then comes back after her interview. She's not like taking a walk around because it's a rough neighborhood. She doesn't want to be outside. You know what I mean? So for all she knows, that's another way out. And that's why I thought it was a very compelling reason for her to go in,
That I didn't even think of that. But that's awesome, because that's just another reason that makes it realistic that she went in to go kind of discover things.
Yeah, what was going on.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
And then she finds that room. How terrifying, utterly terrifying. So as of right now in the movie, I'm sold. I'm terrified. This is so disturbing and so scary. What's going on in this house? She finds a room with a mattress and a video camera, and the mattress is soaked, and a bucket and a bloody handprint.
Bloody handprint. Yeah.
Yeah. This is terrifying. What's going on in this house? Is it currently going on? Yeah. Is this something that went on in the past? And it's like, what the hell? It's absolutely terrifying. She bolts out of there at this point. Yeah. She bolts out of there and is waiting because that's all she can do. I thought all of that was really, really realistic and absolutely terrifying. I wouldn't have gone in the room. I know I'm just really paranoid about the door shutting.
Yeah.
Door shutting. And I don't want to be locked in this room and now be this sexual slave.
Yeah. For some fucking crazy person.
Whatever this is, this snuff film participant.
Oh my God. Yeah. Terrifying. Ugh.
And I loved it. It was so real. She was waiting and waiting, and then he comes and she's banging on the window, right? Yeah, terrifying.
And then, so he arrives, they open the window together, he pulls her out, and she's like freaking out. She's like, there's a fucking thing in the basement. Like, it's scary. And he was like, just relax. He doesn't want her to leave again because I think he thinks that there's a romance a-brewing. We also learned earlier in the movie that, she just broke up with her boyfriend.
Yes.
So that leaves her available. So I think he desperately doesn't want her to go because he wants to continue to get to know her better. I think this is his biggest sin, is that he doesn't believe her.
Yeah.
And we can talk more about this later in terms of the theme of the movie. But this is where he goes wrong. So he goes down into the basement, and exactly what you're talking about with the door. So he goes down there to check it out, and she's waiting at the top of the stairs because she's like, I'm not going back down in there, which is a totally reasonable way to feel. And she's holding onto the door jamb. I liked this little detail because she doesn't want the door to shut. She already, just got locked in there. And then the door starts to shut, and she grabbed it. That was such a moment of relief in our theater. I don't know if that's how you, if your theater, was it packed? Did you have a lot of people?
No, we had like, I would say 10 people in the theater because we saw it Thursday night. We saw it Thursday night.
Okay. So we saw it last night, Saturday night, and there were more people in this theater than the last like 4 new releases that we've gone to see. So that's like X, Nope, Spiral, like all of these movies, no one was there, which really surprised me. So there was more people in this theater than any of those. And that was kind of nice because you got the theater experience of people's reactions. And so people the relief was palpable. People were so excited. It was so satisfying to watch her grab that door. But anyway.
I loved that too, because I was like, are you kidding me? And then she grabbed the door. I'm like, oh, thank God. And then she put the chair there. Yeah. To keep it open. Yeah. And this part too, when she's after he comes and he wants her to stay. And I didn't even think of it from the standpoint of he doesn't want her to leave because he thinks there might be something. And that makes me like it even more. So I'm glad you brought that to my attention. I was still on the board that he was a part of it. Yeah. Because, he's like, wait, let me look. And then he said something like, so what, there's a bucket in a room. Like, let me just go check it out. And so then I was bought into he doesn't believe her, or he doesn't believe the severity or the panic. He wants to check the room out for himself, which I understand. I would be curious too. If you ran in, Tawny, and you're like, holy shit, I found a trap door. There's a fucking room. There's a bucket and a bed. I'd be like, what? I'd want to go see. I would be like,
you?
What?
That shocks me.
I would be like, are you fucking kidding me? Now, again, I would make sure that, okay, there's no doors being shut on me. Everyone knows I'm going down there. I'm not going to be fucking trapped down there for the rest of my life because everybody fucking knows I'm down there. Yeah. But
I've called 87 people to tell them.
Yes. Yeah. Back to your point too, though. I do agree with you about the license. Yeah. I would have Googled it. I know for a fact I would have, because I would have taken the picture and Googled it. Catfish taught me a lot about the Google images. I would have done that. And why not? Yeah, she has we don't know her background as far as her family and stuff, but we know Mark is calling her nonstop. So maybe send it to Mark. I don't know. I know that's her ex, but hey, I'm in this Airbnb. This is what happened. I just want to send this in case something happens to me. Something. But anyway. Yeah. So he goes, and I was talking to my daughter too. He's like, yeah, I'm here. I'm looking. And all of a sudden he's not responding. And so then she ends up going down to check on him. He's not there. And she finds the secret door with stairs down. I would not, I know, have gone down there by myself without anybody else knowing I was going down there. Hell no. Yeah. Because at this point, he's in there going, help me. I would have been like, that motherfucker's luring me in there. Yeah, because I said to my daughter, I was like, dude, he's the bad guy. And he wasn't, spoiler alert. But I was like, He's the bad guy. He fucking went down there to get as deep as he was. What did he just go? Oh, there's this door. He's like Mario speed down into the depths of this thing. Yeah. Because how is he so deep now into this fucking cavern and he's luring me in there? No. I wouldn't have gone down there.
I wouldn't have either. But I will say this is also one of my favorite things is I love how she goes down in there and her panic is palpable. I love that you can hear it in her voice. She can't even like hold herself together. So she's yelling. She's like, Keith, but she's like, her voice is cracking because she can't I don't even know. I loved it. But so then you hear just how fucking far away he is. And that both terrified me and made me feel like, oh, I would not. This feels like a trap. But he is like yelling for her.
Yeah, but how he gets so deep in there. I mean, we know why he's so deep in there. But at this point, as the character, like he must have hauled ass. So he must know what the caverns and what the hallways are like for him to get so deep. Obviously, that's not the case, but.
Right. Yeah. But oh my God, I loved this. This was so creepy. And then she does descend down in there and she's like walking around with her cell phone light. Finally, she has a cell phone. And he fucking crawls on all fours out of the darkness. Oh, I was like, oh, that gave me a good startle. I liked that part a lot.
And there's so many great elements that just invoke dread and the deepest fear.
Oh, you're right. I skipped over. She finds like an accordion door. I'm sorry, I'll stop talking.
No, you go. Yes. This is exactly what I wanted. These different elements where you're like, oh my God, this is terrifying.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck is this? I love feeling that way. We've talked about this many times. I love watching a movie where I start to feel like, what the fuck is going on, right? In a very scary way. And so you first find that like accordion door where you're like, who has been locked down here? And then she finds cages that looks like it housed dogs or people. We don't know.
Food bowls, little empty food bowls, cages. Cages.
All of it. Very scary. And then she keeps going because she's trying to find him. And then that's when he crawls out of the darkness. And he's like, we have to get the fuck out. He's panicked. We have to get the fuck out of here. Somebody else is down here. And she's like, what are you talking about? Just or he says, no, they're that way. The way that she came from.
Yeah. And I'm like,
remember?
No. Yeah, I get why she was like, no, this is the way out. And I just came this way. So there's no one this way. And he's like, no, they're that way. And
do you think he was just turned around? He was in total darkness.
I think he was turned around because at that point, I was thinking, no, he's trying to lure her deeper in because she just came that way. So I like that dynamic of, no, we need to go this way. It just came this way. There's no one here. And he's like, no, we need to go this way. Maybe he was just turned around, which we see later because there is so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she does come behind him. So he was leading her the wrong way.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this naked woman with gigantic breasts is bashing his head into the wall. And you're like, what?
Yeah. Wait,
what?
You're like, okay, first of all, I feel bad. Sorry, guy. This guy was obviously not a murderer. And then you're like, oh, here we are with Justin Long driving down the Pacific Coast Highway. Just totally different movie. We're jettisoned into a different movie.
So if you feel like we just switch subjects, that's how it goes.
Yep.
Naked woman, giant breasts, really mangled, bashes in our boy, kills him, done. We're on like the PCH.
Yes.
With Justin Long in the car.
It's sunny. There's the ocean. Good time. What's he listening to?
I didn't recognize the song.
I can't remember it now, but it's like some funny song. He's singing along to it, having a great time. Oh.
Yep. And then he gets a call. I really enjoyed this as well, this storyline, because, well, at first I felt like, oh shit, did they mess up the movie? Or like, is this, okay, here we are. We're with him. Like, what is happening? And he gets a call, and I guess a woman that he was doing a sitcom with, or, you know, he was in a part of that sitcom. She is threatening him, or I'm sorry, she's not threatening him. She is saying that he raped her. And so his probably agent and, you know, publicist and stuff is calling him saying, you're no longer a part of this project because this is what she's saying. And at this point, I think this is a really great thing because this happens a lot. And it's something that we are encountering, you know, especially in Hollywood. We don't know if he actually did it or not. He played this so well. He's like, no, in the beginning, he's just like, but that's not what happened. And so we don't know. Is she doing this is this something that is detrimental in the sense that any woman can come forward and say, this happened and ruin a man's life. But then on the other hand, you know, so for so much time, women have come forward and been blamed for being the victim. and not been believed.
Yeah.
So where is the balance of we can't just go and say, yeah, this person did this to me and ruin their lives if that's not what happened, to also making it so that this can't happen because this is not okay. This needs to change. So we don't know where we're at with Justin.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't
immediately.
know if he's the good guy or not.
But he's so emphatic in talking with them on the phone that you start to be like, you kind of believe him. You know, you're like, maybe this isn't something, he seems to be totally lost as to what this is, whatever. So then
oblivious.
So then we cut to him talking to his wealth manager, right? And he's like talking to him about, I don't think we're going to have any more income for the rest of the year. And I don't know what to do about it. And he's like, well, you could, sell some of your properties. And he's like, well, what was it? It was like, I think he didn't want to sell the house that he was in there in like California or something. So
yeah, that would have brought him the most profit, that one in California, but he didn't want to let that go.
Yeah. So then that leads him to Detroit, but his wealth manager drops him. And he tells him like, oh, this is totally fake, by the way, all of these allegations against me. It's totally fake. And he's like, well, you're going to have to find a new wealth manager. So then we just move on to Detroit. And something about this is that I there was definitely a push and pull here where I was like immediately feeling like, what the fuck am I watching? This is a totally different movie. Like, I don't want to get to know like a new person. But then I was on this like teeter-totter of being like, okay, yeah, I kind of like this though, like, and I'm here for it. And then I'd be like, I don't know, this is weird, and I might be pissed about it. Like, I was like, I'm preparing myself to be mad. And then I was like, nope, I don't know, they're kind of winning me over. I was like, this is dumb. And then I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna sit here and just be in it. I'm gonna be in for the ride. I'm just committing to this. And I feel like the section with him was just long enough. But they kept it pretty short to where we could like kind of get to know him, get to know what was happening. And then we were like right back in it. And I was like, Jade leaned over to me and was like, that was the perfect amount of time to spend with this guy. Like, they did that masterfully. And I was like, I agree.
Oh, yes. You said that so perfectly. I totally agree with you as well. I absolutely love how you said all of that, because I completely agree. It was just enough time to where you're jolted into this other experience, this other movie. And then when he meets his financial advisor and he's talking about unloading properties, then you start thinking, oh, I wonder if one of his properties is Detroit. You naturally start thinking that. So now you're brought back in. They did that beautifully. I thought they did that beautifully. I also liked how when he was talking to his financial advisor, when he's talking about how much it's going to cost to defend himself. So you're not totally buying in that he's a bad guy. We don't know this. We don't know yet. Like, did he really do these things or not? And I think that's a really, really important and hot topic because we've seen many, many cases where this is the case, that the person has done this. Women and men have sexually abused or what have you, other people, and now it's coming to light. And we've had a handful of cases where possibly that's not the case. It's actually just someone getting retaliation or what have you. And I say
false allegations.
And I say possibly not because I don't know. I wasn't there. But, there's like all of this. And so we want to make sure that everybody's protected. Whoever everybody is, whether it's the man or the woman or the whoever, we want to make sure that people are protected, that if they have been abused or they have not been an abuser, that we're coming to that truth. So I think it brings a really relevant topic to the forefront in a really great way. We do find out later that he's a piece of shit. So we'll roll with that. But then, he goes to the house and we're like, yes, it's the house. Now we're right back in it. He's so fucking good. And he's walking around the house like, what the fuck is this? Man, fuck, they left the door open. And how he's discovering everything. And then he calls and he's like, what the hell? Like, why? And so we realize, okay, this really is an Airbnb. This isn't a fake Airbnb. This is legit. And he's like, what the hell? There's all these things in my house, what have you. I thought all of that was like really well done. And then we were roped right back into it.
I liked that too. The one thing that I was confused about here is why didn't anybody call anybody else? Like, she called and left a message. Hey, you double booked my Airbnb. Call me back. You know, and like nothing came of that, which I guess makes sense on some level because it's like this guy just owns the property. He's not involved in the Airbnb process, which I think is like how some of it is. You know, some people own the house and rent it out, you know, one-on-one, but this guy's just like, it's like an investment property or something, you know? So he's like not even fucking privy to what happens. He's confused about this cleaning schedule because he's like, why is all this shit in my house?
Yes.
You know?
I think that because we stayed in a house in Tucson where it was the owners. It was a gorgeous house, and it was the owners because they met us there and they cared very much for the property and they took care of it. In this situation, I think he bought the property manager takes care of it, and he is not involved in it whatsoever until this point.
Yeah.
So then he is wondering, okay, wait a second.
Not enough. Like, you find all these fucking left bags in your house and you're not like,
there's something.
I'd be like, what happened here? I'd be immediately concerned, you know?
He seems
this guy's
so self-centered though.
Yeah, he's not concerned with anybody else. Yeah.
He's more concerned that people left shit in his house than where are the owners of this stuff? No, people don't pack a bag to go on vacation and then leave the bag.
Right.
Like, what happened for them to leave leave their bags? He doesn't care. He's just so upset that the bags are here. It's such an inconvenience for him.
Yeah. Which I think is well within his character, you know, so that's fine. But
and then he goes out with his friends, and that's where we really find out that he is a fucking douchebag, and he forced that girl who's bringing up those allegations against him to do stuff she didn't want to do. So we find out he's yucky.
Yeah. Big asshole. Definitely a rapist. Then you're like,
totally rapist.
Fuck this fucking guy. I'm excited to watch him get his. Right? So you like... I think it's after this, right? Because he goes home and he's like throwing up or whatever. And then he finds the passage.
Yes, he finds the passage and immediately thinks of, this is amazing because I get more square footage in the home. Yes. And this is a very dark comedy, but I have to say for me, this is the comedy I liked. I liked this comedy because it fit with his character. He just does not give a shit about anything or anybody but himself. Yeah.
The audience laughed so fucking much. This part was so funny. I loved it too. The whole, like, as soon as he find it and he's like, oh, fuck. And he immediately goes upstairs and just Googles, like, can I include a basement in my square footage? Like, for the next, 7 minutes, people were giggling. And I was like, this is so funny. Because then he goes back down and he's, measuring. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't even think about the fact that there's, the camera down there or whatever. He's just, measuring it. And then he finds the extra passage and he goes down and he starts measuring the stairs.
It's ridiculous. But it would kind of, it fit his character. I don't know. It didn't. I wasn't upset about this piece, even though it seemed even. Yeah, no, maybe he would have just not assumed it was for a bad thing. I don't know if the majority of people would assume, a video camera in a bed. Maybe not. Maybe the majority of people who aren't warped like I am or like we are that have seen horror movies and are a binge true crime would assume that these things were really disturbing. Maybe, it's a historical residence. Maybe I found some ruins. I don't know. No way. No, I don't know.
I appreciate you trying to make this. But no, it is wild that you wouldn't be like, what the fuck? This is obviously a fucking torture or a snuff film or a fucking, at the very least, it's a porn room where people are you know what I mean? It's crazy that he wouldn't even care about it. So
wouldn't even care. Well, obviously, if he is forcing women to have sex with him against their will and he's raping women, he may not care.
Yeah.
But you're right. This wouldn't be. This is disturbing. This setup, there was a prisoner in here. Period. Some type of a prisoner. And it wasn't like, oh, this is a historical residence where maybe, and this is like this sort of, no. This is like, there's a video camera, VHS, which was not back in the historical day. This is not something like that. This is, even at the end of the day, maybe like human trafficking or something. I immediately thought snuff films, but if you didn't know what snuff films were, and I don't know. I
think you're right that he just is totally self-centered and there's like no thought to like any, and I think like, again, maybe not again, that's the wrong word to say, but I think that being a man, you do kind of have a different lens on the world because you're not as unprotected, I feel like, as women are going through the, just doing anything. So, but I don't think, I say that just to say that there's a little bit of a difference there. But I think most people in this situation would be like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening down here? But this guy's just a dick and he just does not care about anybody. And I don't think that's reflective of like men as a blanket statement at all. But I think it's him and his character where he's like.
Once we talk about certain parts, I'll bring up this whole quote, but this was one of the main points and theme of the movie. And I have a quote here from the director. Men do not have to be assessing threat like women do. Yeah. So that was the story of the first chunk. And then the second chunk is like the polar opposite. And we'll get into that as we talk about more. But that whole thing about how women have to constantly be worried about and assessing threat, men do not have that. Men don't have to worry about that. Eric Skarsgård was not worried at all that she might be a threat to him. He made sure he went out of his way to let her know he was not a threat. Right. But he wasn't worried about it at all.
Yeah. And they even discuss that, right? They have a conversation where she was like, well, if it was the reverse, like, you would have just like walked right in here and claimed that this was yours and whatever. So the dynamic is totally shifted, based on gender.
So even this guy, he's not worried about being trapped in a room where he might be a sex slave or part of a snuff film. He's not worried about that. He's not worried about doors closing behind him.
He's all fucking score. I could sell this house for more money.
Oh. Exactly. So then he goes down the stairs. He's like, and when he comes to the cages or the crates with the food bowls, he's not even like, what the fuck is this? He's like, oh, cool. He measures that. And then he comes to the room just full of just, I don't know, material and trash and just stuff with this video on the loop of a nursing mom. Yeah. He's like, what the fuck? And then mother gets in, or no, he confronts the mother, the naked woman that we talked about in the beginning, who's very, very decrepit. And runs and falls into a pit. And then we see our character, Georgina, right? We see Tess. We see Tess. She's in there. She's in the hole. She's been here for a while because she knows the ropes, right? And she's in there and he's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And then this was the biggest what the fuck for me. Yeah. The mother puts down this like...
Wait, I can't remember if this happens later or not. Like, okay, Jade and I went back and forth. I don't think this happens yet. I think because the thing shuts. We don't usually do this. We go like scene by scene. But this movie feels like it really... We have to, kind of. Yes. I think it closes because we see Tess is alive. He drops down in there, is like, what the fuck? We see Tess is alive and the door shuts and we're jettisoned once again into another... Oh shit! Like, you're right. Time and place, and then we're there with Frank. And Frank I'm sorry, you're right. No, I forgot about this too. I thought it happened later, and Jade had to remind me. No, it's when it's this moment. It's another shocking moment where you're like, "Wait, what?" Like I was excited.
I'm so glad that you mentioned this. Yes, they get shut in there, and then that's that transition to Frank.
Yeah, so then we're like with Frank in the, I think, 80s. They're talking about Reagan on the...
Oh, you're right. I said the 50s because the whole like colorful, hey, neighbor sort of thing reminded me of the 50s. But you're right. They were talking about Reagan.
Yeah, and this part is shot totally differently, right? Like, I think somebody else mentioned this in our group. Like, it's like fisheye lens type stuff. So it makes me want to rewatch and see like if each like act kind of has its own filmmaking style that I maybe didn't totally pick up on. But yeah, so we're with Frank back in the 80s when this house was probably first built. The neighborhood's all fresh and brand new grass and whatever. And he goes to the store to pick up some creepy shit. And this is when I went to the bathroom. So I missed the I missed the next like, I don't know, 2 minutes or something.
Where did you pick it up? When did you come back from the bathroom?
I came back and he was in the bathroom of that woman's house and unlocked the window.
Okay, so what he did is when we went into the store and he was buying the creepy shit. So he's buying stuff for a baby. He's buying diapers. He's buying this and that. And I really loved this portion because he was like picking up stuff for a baby. And the woman was like, oh my God, let me help you. Here's a poor man that doesn't know what to do with his new baby. And so she's like, you need diapers, giving him diapers. You need this, you need that. Oh, and you should take this. And that was the video of the nursing mom, how to nurse your baby. So she gives them that. And so she's giving them different things for this new baby that she's thinking she's helping this poor man with because he has no idea. And so then he goes out, he puts all of his stuff inside of his car. And then that's when our woman comes out of the store. This brings me right back in to everything that's terrifying. And what you brought up, Tawny, with the Fright Crew when we were watching Angst, how many times has our paths crossed with predators who meant us harm? And for some reason, we just weren't the target.
Yeah.
So this woman coming out of the store, he's watching her. She loads her car. He follows her home in his car. He follows her home. And so he has her as a target. And we're feeling like, oh, Jesus. And so where Tawny brings us is he puts on this, a utility man outfit, goes to the door. He's like, we've had some outages. I just want to make sure everything's okay. She lets him in the house. He's testing stuff. He goes to the bathroom and unlocks the window. Fucking that's all it takes. And you know what's so scary is there's real true crime things where this has happened, not to the T where this has happened, where they have gained access to the house and then unlocked a window or what have you. It was the East
Area Rapist?
East Area Rapist that did this, eventually Golden State Killer, all of that. Definitely go check that out. It's a crazy story. But where he gained access to the house and then had unlocked a window to make it accessible so then he could come back. It's so fucking scary. And I love how they didn't go into anything else. They don't show him going back and getting her.
Yeah.
You just know.
Yeah, from here on. But he does go home. We see that part at least, right? He has a conversation with the neighbor where the neighbor's like, yeah, we're selling the house. We got to get out while we still can. Are you moving? And something that Jade suggested that I'm not sure, but he was like, the neighborhood is going downhill. And Jade thought, is this because women are going missing in the neighborhood and people want to move away?
Jade. What a great thought. Yeah, right? Because the neighborhood looks fine. Like, why is everyone assuming, oh, this area of the neighborhood is going downhill? Why? That is so intriguing because I, being a huge Eminem fan, watching 8 Mile and loving Eminem, I knew of this area of Detroit honestly because of Eminem. And if that makes me stupid, I just never been there. But I love Eminem. I've read his stories.
Watched 8 Mile.
Watched 8 Mile. Like, so I knew that there was these bad areas, but I will admit, I didn't know why. I just assumed. I was like, oh yeah, I know this area gets bad. You guys should get out. But why? But why does it get bad? Why? I didn't even think about that. Yeah, absolutely. Know. Maybe. And he's like, no, we're not going anywhere. And then he goes to his house and you see it's fucking creepy.
Oh, yeah. And again, they don't show a lot, but he goes to open the door and you hear somebody screaming down there and you're like, oh, God.
Yep.
I liked that this was like, you know, we told a story over, you know, generations, basically. I really liked that. So
then we go to...
So then
Justin Long is in the hole and we see Tess again. And she knows the ropes because she's telling him to be quiet. She's telling him to calm down. And then here comes the mother and her creepy hair hanging through. She's very decrepit and creepy. And then she puts down this gigantic bottle that was like
old school.
I was trying to explain it to Steve, this bottle, and I said it was like the Looney Tunes.
Yes.
If anyone, it's like a
big nipple,
or with this rubber nipple over the top. It reminded me of the Looney Tunes. I've never actually seen a bottle that looked like that giant bottle, and I'm sitting there thinking, what the fuck? Am I gonna hate this movie after this? Like, this is it's gross. So you have this element of it being so disgusting that she wants them to drink it, and Tess is saying, drink it, drink it, drink it. And he's like, fuck no. And Tess drinks it, and then there's hair on it, like a hair. And they're like trying, and he's like, no, I'm not gonna drink it. And you're thinking it's so disgusting and disturbing, but it's also so absurd.
Yes.
Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, totally. This is where I started to be like, I don't know about this. I think we're both on the same page as far as like, we don't like things that are like outwardly disgusting. Like, disgust is one of those triggers that you can feel that are like kind of close to fear, but like that's not for us. Like, we don't like it. And I just find myself rolling my eyes about it. So this whole thing, and also just how long they held on the shot of the bottle, like in the grate. I was just like, I'm over it, whatever. Stupid. And then one of the things like that I wrote down that I absolutely hated, because in this interaction, she's like, just drink from it. And she goes, don't you see? I don't know if this is an exact quote, but she goes, don't you see? She just wants you to be her baby. And I fucking hated this moment of exposition, because I was like, we're like, by the end of the movie, you get it. You get what's happening. We don't need that moment. It was so like, it threw me so far fucking out of the movie. I was like, this is ridiculous. I mean, this is where I feel like started to really go off the rails and be like Comedy Central. I don't know.
Comedy Central.
Not the network, but just, you know, I was like, what the fuck?
I agree with you. I was like, oh shit, here we go. Like, this was so good, and here we go. It's going to be like this corny horror movie. Like, what is this? This is ridiculous. And he won't drink the bottle. And I understand and don't understand. I mean, I was like, just drink the fucking bottle, but it's gross. I get it. Whatever.
It's gross, but you could pretend. If you have somebody down here that looks like they've been here for 2 fucking weeks, which she has been, right? And she's telling you the ropes, I'd be like, all right, I just listened to that person.
It's not like not like the mother pulled the bottle up to make sure he drank. Just like put your mouth on it and like move your mouth around. I don't know, just until you could figure out next steps. But he wouldn't. So she pulled him out of there and drags him to the room with the tape, and she tries to breastfeed him. So initially, I'm like, this is so gross. She's trying to breastfeed him. This is so gross. And then thinking of it later, this is naturally what you would do. If your baby doesn't take the bottle, you would breastfeed them. Usually, or not usually, I shouldn't say usually, it could be vice versa, right? And if your baby's not taking the breast, you have to bottle feed them. So in this instance, he's not being bottle fed. Right. So she's trying to nurse him, and it's so gross. And yes, Tess, thank you. This is her opportunity. Let's fucking jump and try to get out of this motherfucker. And she does. She jumps and she gets out and I love it.
She has a flashlight. Yes. Yeah. She's good to go. And also I thought in this moment, how fucking weak would you be? You've been sustained for the last 2 weeks on, I guess, breast milk? Like
really old breast milk too. Like
probably.
When was this lady pregnant last time?
Well, yeah, that's what somebody else said. Like, yeah, when was this person pumping? Like, what?
Yeah,
this doesn't make any sense.
My daughter asked me. They're like, she said, "Do you have breast milk for that long?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, if you're breastfeeding." Like my mom's friend knew someone who breastfed till the kid was 5. You know, like if you're constantly feeding out of your breast, your breasts are gonna keep
going.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So she must pump because there was no babies in there unless there was a baby and it recently died. But if she just kept, and that's why in the beginning when we were talking, I said giant breasts because they were giant because they were full of milk.
Yeah.
So she must have been pumping.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know if she was sophisticated enough to pump. You know, like, I don't know.
She had to have been, though. She had to have been.
Yeah. Again, this is, okay, we'll just suspend our disbut for this. Yeah. There's a lot of suspension of disbelief that you need for this movie. This is one of those moments I'll overlook, whatever. But I liked how she did, like, use this moment to escape. But I was like, how weak would you be, dude? Like, you probably haven't eaten anything. She looks fucking, her cheeks are sunken in. She looks bad. She, like, obviously, she hasn't eaten or whatever. She's just been in this hole. So I was like, thank God she got out of there, right?
Fear, adrenaline, and opportunity might have been able to just like pump her enough to be able to get out of that hole.
Yeah, it was her option, right? She was taking it. And then she runs into the tape measure because he had it there.
Oh,
and I like,
yes.
Remember? She sneaks by the like door, right? Where he's in there with her. With the mother, and she sneaks by it, but then she runs into the tape measure and it makes a noise. And I loved this because she would not know that was there. She would not be trying to look at the ground. You'd just be concerned with like, I just got to get the fuck out of here. So then she just breaks out into a run and gets the fuck out of there. And this is when the guy pulls her out, right? I can't remember his name.
Yeah, the homeless man pulls her out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he's like, you got to get the fuck out of here. She's like, there's somebody down in there. He's like, there's some scarier shit down there than her. But she can travel at night, so you better get the fuck out of here. And I liked how she went to go get the cops. And they did not believe her, and they were not about to deal with her. Like, they went to the house with her, which I thought was good. But then they got a call, which was like, oh, we have, like, shots fired down over here. And so they had to leave.
And they thought she was just on drugs.
Drugs. Yeah.
Because she looked it. Because she was sweaty and dirty. Yeah.
Yeah.
This part. Gosh. This is going to sound so evil. I don't know that I would have went to save his life. Like, no. I would have tried, but not on the inside.
No,
like I even thought, so she ran, she found cops. That's normal. Called the cops. They brought her back here. They wouldn't believe her. I was talking to my daughter about this. I think I would have been like, please, please, please just take me to the station. Take me to the station so I could call my family. Please just take me to the station. Then at that point at the station, I would have filed a report. I would have let them know that there was another guy in there. I would have called my family, my ex-boyfriend. I don't even care, so that somebody was there for me. And I would have said, there is another man, because I don't know that man's a bad man. Right. Or even if it's not my judgment to he deserves to die or not, whatever. But I would have kept saying, there is someone in there. You got to go investigate. There is, I would have kept pushing, but I wouldn't have gone down back in there myself. I would have even been so afraid. Like if the cops, let's say, said, I'm not taking you to the station. Nah, screw you. You're crazy. And they drove away. I was talking to my daughter. I was like, would I have broken in just to get my keys and went out? And she's like, I would have. And I'm like, but I would have been so scared to go back into the house. Because when you're behind closed doors. You're behind closed doors, right?
Yeah, but
I think I would have ran back to hauled ass back to the gas station. And instead of calling the police, I would have called, my family or my ex-boyfriend or somebody.
Really? But she's like in the middle of nowhere in this totally abandoned, rough neighborhood. I think I would have broken in to get my keys, 100%. Because
I might have, but I would have been so scared.
I would have been scared too. She was very like confident about it, kind of. She like broke in, went, got the keys, walked the fuck out. But I think that's kind of how you would try to be, You'd be like, I can do this. I can do it. I'm just going to go in, get the keys, run out, So I liked that because she was like, are the cops going to do something? Absolutely not. They didn't even help this person that I told them was going to die. Are they going to come back for me for throwing a brick through this window? Fuck no.
Yeah, I liked that it was that fine line. So it wasn't completely unbelievable to me, not at all. Because I would have grappled with going in or running back to the gas station. Those are my two options because I know the path to the gas station. So either I would have went that way or I would have broken in, and I just don't know what I would have done.
The gas station. Did she go to a gas station that was close?
Yeah, remember not super close, but remember the first time that's how she got the police. She went all the way. There was a trucker filling gas. She went in and said, "Do you have a phone?"
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay.
So either would have, but it was night and it was a scary neighborhood. So I do know that. So I either would have ran back or would have gotten my keys. I don't know what I would have done. I would have very definitely been scared to be behind closed doors again, though.
I would have gotten my keys and fucking left and gone and talked to somebody else. Like
I
you're
definitely
saying,
would have driven away.
Yeah, gone to the police station, whatever. Somebody can handle this, not me. Okay.
I'm not going to go down there with what?
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
But I do feel like they kind of led us down the path of like, I didn't hate it. I would have done a different thing, but I also was like, okay, sure. Yes, she watched somebody else get killed at the hands of this thing. She doesn't want to watch somebody else. Again, she doesn't know him. Like, we know him as an audience. We want to watch this guy die, and we're like, whatever. Again, not like I'm trying to pass judgment or anything, but we're like, fuck this guy. But she doesn't know, so she doesn't want to see anybody else get hurt. That's it in her character, right? So she goes back. But the thing that I like about her is she lured the mother out and pinned her with the car. Thought she killed her, and then she went back down into the tunnels. She didn't go back down like just blind. So at least she thought she was safe. And I'm going to go get this guy, right? But alas, he shot her ass. I knew the moment he picked up that gun, I was like, he's going to shoot her.
So yes, I agree. I would have driven away, period. Point blank. Maybe if I would have been brave enough to go back into the house. I just have this thing in my head about being behind closed doors. And this makes me like the movie even more. The director, Cregger, and I've talked about it on this show before, read The Gift of Fear.
Okay.
Yes. And
yeah, we just talked about it.
Yes, we just talked about it. And I've talked about it before. He read it and that informed him on a lot of different things that he added to this movie.
Interesting.
Yes. Okay. So one of the things in The Gift of Fear is never get behind closed doors.
Yeah.
If someone if they pull up and they're like, get in the car and they have you at gunpoint and you get in the car because you're at gunpoint, look, run. Because if they shoot you on the street, it's way better than what they're going to do when they get you behind closed doors. Yeah. So I have that so ingrained in my head that I'd be so scared to go in, but I do understand going in because the keys are right there. If I just grab the keys and fucking bolt out. So if I had been successful to grabbing the keys and bolting out, I would have driven away. I wouldn't have waited. Nothing.
Yeah. But I hear what you're saying though.
Yeah. But again, she ended up hitting the woman. And so that was really good. I think as a horror movie lover, I'm like, she's not dead. She's not going to be there when you come out. But
of course,
but it was realistic. So now I've hit her. Now let me go in and get him. Maybe like I hit her and then killed her. But that's easy for me to say. I've not killed a human being. I don't think it would be that easy to kill somebody. I don't, so anyways, yeah, she goes in, she's looking for him. And you know what? She's going through the tunnels. Yeah. Okay, so then he makes his way. Oh, before she hits him though, before she hits Mother, our boy, Justin Long.
Our not boy.
He's going through the tunnels and he finds another door. And oh my God, when the mother comes up and sees, oh, you're there? I don't think so.
Backed away.
Yes.
I was like, oh no. What's going to happen?
There is something scarier than me and my gigantic bottle.
Yeah.
And she backs away. And then he goes in that room. And how terrifying to have, like, there's that man in there, Frank. And the videos of all the women that he has tortured. And so, like, Justin Long is in this disgusting room. Frank is like coughing, just nasty, diseased, coughing up shit and all of that. And he's like, we're going to get out of here. I'm going to call the police, this and that. So then Frank kind of motions, Justin Long helps him get to this drawer where there's a gun. And then Justin Long, which is the real man's name.
Right, AJ.
AJ is watching the videos and seeing what this man is capable of. And it's disgusting. And then he shoots himself in the head. Frank shoots himself in the head because he doesn't, want to be held accountable for all the shit he did.
Yeah, he's been caught now.
Mm-hmm. He's been caught now.
Yeah.
And then Justin comes out and I knew he was going to shoot Tess because you would. Sorry.
Yes, of course.
This is so heightened. This is so terrifying. You can't see where you are. I agree. I think I would have shot too.
The only thing that's in this tunnel is a threat to you. And of course you're going to shoot it. Yeah. Like, this didn't bother me at all as far as that interaction, but I just hate it when it happens because I'm always so sad about it. Like I said, as soon as he saw that gun, he picked it up. I was like, he's gonna shoot her. Fuck, I'm not here for that. I hate it. Just because I'm like, it's so sad. But yeah, this whole interaction was really interesting. In some ways, I want to hate it because I wanted there to be something even scarier, than her. But the other half of me is like, I like that it was a very realistic. It's the father of this creature that has been born at some point. I don't remember when, but we learn that like this guy has been having sex with, he's been like raping women that he brought down and then having children with them and then like raping those children, right? So it's like an incest situation. And this guy is terrible. And so in some ways I like that he's just a man, because I've talked about this before. We talked about it on the Night Stalker. People make that guy out to be like he's the devil. There's something supernatural about him. But I get annoyed because I'm like, it's just a person who's done like really fucked up stuff. And to associate higher powers or bigger powers or some sort of supernatural thing to somebody who's done terrible things is giving them more power than what they have. And so I like the fact that it was just this guy, and she's scared of him because he did this to her.
Yeah.
I like it and I don't like it because I was like ready for like a bigger, scarier monster or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I liked it because it brought back this, and we talked about it in Angst and before, in our Angst episode and before, the real element is far more terrifying than this, the imaginate or surreal or like paranormal element. Not that paranormal is not real. We don't know, but the real element is so terrifying.
It's unassuming.
Yeah. And there is, this has really happened, not to the level of this woman being underground with baby bottle and stuff, but there is a story of Elizabeth Fritzl. This is immediately what I thought of. 100% true story where her father did trap her down in the basement in this underground bunker. And he did for 24 years. Had babies with her, had babies, the babies. Like, this happened in Austria for real. And the mother lived right upstairs and apparently didn't know anything about it. And like when the underground bunker got too filled up, like they couldn't keep the children, then he would take the babies and put them on the doorstep as though his daughter had run away and was having babies and then dropping the babies off. But she was right there. So there's a very real element to this that has happened. And that's just one story of several where people have been trapped in this situation and having babies. And I think that's why it's so, they bring back this very scary and disturbing reel of being, like a sexual slave, being tortured, being captured, incest. Yes. All of these different things that are so terrifying and are really happening.
Terrifying. The titles of the tapes. I mean, I like all of that, I think is, lends to the credibility and how scary the concept of this movie is. And so that leads me then to the tape titles, right? Like the written things on the spines, fucking stomach turning. It was like, some of them was like vomiter, squealer. I don't remember exactly. Yeah. But they were things like that. They were like tapes characterized by the way that people reacted to probably being raped, right? Mm-hmm. Fucking awful. And Justin Long, AJ, watches one of these tapes and is like disgusted and is like, oh my God, you're a fucking terrible human being. What the fuck? And then that's when he shoots himself, Frank. And it's so scary and so real and so like palpable that I kind of hate in a way that this movie like plays on that line of comedy, maybe you need it. Maybe it's too dark of a movie if you don't have that. Maybe. But like you and I are talking about it right now and it's bringing home like just how fucked up and how real this situation can be. And I loved that. As soon as that guy was talking about like, yeah, this person has been here for 15 years and you start to realize, oh, these are like, tunnels under these like decrepit fucking houses of Detroit where nobody has been for the last who fucking knows how many years. That's scary because it's not supernatural. It's actual people doing terrible things. And then to like edge into funny, I don't know. Like I like the scary, realistic nature of it.
Yeah, I agree. Because if you think about the mother, because I was thinking about this a lot, think about this character and you're like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Okay, let's think about it. So she is been the product of who knows how many years of incest.
Yeah.
So they say, okay, once Tess gets AJ out and the homeless man that she was once scared of because she was told this neighborhood is terrifying, don't go in there, he rescues them. And he's saying that man had had trapped women, had babies, then had babies with his babies and babies with those babies. Okay.
Yeah.
So many years of incest. So now we can understand the mental capacity of the mother, right? And you live in a cave of darkness. What are you going to look like? What are you going to think? The only thing you've had to see was that fucking video on nursing that the woman gave. If she would have only known that woman in the grocery store, she could have given like, I don't know, the World Series that had like animals in the outside and shit. No, but she gave the nursing video. This is all this woman knows is this nursing video played on repeat and utter darkness. That's it. So let's just think about that as like a realistic sort of thing. What would you look like if you had been like, incest for so many years? Yeah. You have absolutely never been in daylight. And the only thing you've had to watch as you've grown up is the breastfeeding video. So now this, I feel, adds an element to this character that isn't so terribly unbelievable. I think the bottle is like super fucking bizarre.
Yeah, way over the top.
We could have given like a normal bottle, then maybe I would, like a bottle they used in that period of time in the 80s did not look like that. So can we have done at least some realistic elements to it? Yeah. Then this is understandable of why she has a one-track mind. She has mental disability and has only been exposed to breastfeeding babies and this disgusting father that rapes everybody. Because I just want to say one more thing and I'll be quiet. In this particular true crime story that I had mentioned about and many others, this family, which was his daughter who knew reality, right? Because she was, just about to graduate high school, was trapped in there and trying to protect her children. All the children only knew the basement and they did not know that there was anything more than that until they started seeing, I think there was, the dad had brought a TV down there or something, and they started to see that there was other things than the basement. This is real. Like you wouldn't know. And this is the reality you would be accustomed to until you were introduced to, oh no, there's something more. And you'd be like, what? So she doesn't know there's something more.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. I'm just like, it brought this new human element to this very exaggerated character of the mother that got me thinking more.
Yeah, totally. And I think that's why I didn't, I was first very I liked the creature design. I was like, ooh, that's scary. And then I was like, oh, this is supposed to be just like a human being. And now I dislike it because I don't like when things are over the top, but they got me back in with the incest. I thought, oh, that makes sense because, you have some defects, you don't look as good, right? Like, I don't know if you've seen the reconstructions of I think it's like King Tut or something. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here.
I don't know.
But one of the ancient Egyptian pharaohs or something was like a product of incest. And so I've seen reconstructions of how they think that person actually looked, and they look fucked up because you're not, it's not good. Your fucking face structure, your bone structure is all fucked up, and brain chemistry is probably off. And it's not that I'm an expert or anything. And so I was kind of like, okay, I can get there. I feel like at least there's a reason, why this person looks. But I started to feel a little bit like I did with X, and I won't spoil anything, but there's kind of a moment where you're like, this is over the top gross. And it's making me feel like you're just overdoing it. Why am I feeling so, this is too much. But now I wonder, as we're talking about this, is it too real, too close to home without the comedic element? I don't know. I still disagree. I would have liked a straight horror because I love to be disturbed. Go all the way. If that's the way you're going to go all the way. I want to be scared. I want to be disturbed. I don't want my least favorite thing in this movie, I think, is the mother creature talking. The ba 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 ba, which might be bottle, it might be baby, I don't know. But I was just like, that is comical. You've now pushed this into funny, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I have to agree. So we have, because if you had a person you had a baby with, then you had a baby with a baby, and the baby with that person, that baby's baby, and then you keep going down the line. There's going to be some just major fucked up shit. Yeah. So then you have the mother that escapes during the evening. Now we enter to this second dimension. She's so fucking strong. She rips that man's arm off.
Arm off? Yeah.
Literally rips do you know how strong you have to be? And then beats the shit out of the man to death with the arm.
With the arm.
Okay, so you have me, okay, maybe I'm buying the way she looks and the way she is because of the incest and because of being down in that cave. But she's so fucking strong. What is she eating? Like, what is she? Is there no point in her life where she went upstairs, apparently because she's eating well because she's so strong, that she
so much
goes,
protein.
Oh,
just
wow.
chicken and rice. Just,
yeah, right.
Okay,
This
and eggs.
house
Sure.
is like really nice. Like, maybe I want to live here. Okay, maybe she has such mental degradation because of the incest and all of that. Okay, fine. But she's really strong because she rips a man's arm off and beats him with it. Like, come on. How do you account for that? And then when she ran up the tower after them and he throws her, we see just how shitty he is, because he takes Tess and he throws her like, oh, and I had to do that. He's so oblivious to what a dick he is. Okay, so Tess is falling, but then you see the mother, like,
leap off.
Leap off. Here I am. You're like, okay. And then how does mother end up under Tess so that they, this is all,
I know,
a little,
it's a little
too much there.
Yeah, this last like bit is just so over the top. And also the moment, just to go back before he rips his arm off, he's like, I've never seen her, or what does he say, for 15 years. And I was like, she's going to come through that door, like through that wall right behind him. I was like, this is over. She did like the fucking, what is it? The fucking Kool-Aid man busts through the door. Like, not even a door. I keep calling it a door. It's a wall. It's a wall.
She breaks down the wall.
Yes.
She's so strong.
Pulls the arm off, kills him, whatever. Totally crazy. And then they take off. But also in this moment, AJ, Justin Long's character, is like, am I a bad person? Or am I just a good person who did a bad thing? Like, you feel like he's having a moment. He's like realizing, oh, because I just watched that fucked up rape tape in this fucking basement. Now I realize the error of my ways and I'm having a fucking character arc moment. No. Because she busts in. He fucking leaves her ass. She's wounded. Has like a gunshot wound in her. Oh, and you're like, fuck this guy. This is the last moment where you're like, Jesus Christ, I've been on this, ride. Maybe he's okay. He's a terrible asshole. Maybe he'll redeem himself. No, fuck this guy. And the whole water cooler, I say the wrong words. I've had many drinks at this point. Water tower.
I know, I was like, the water cooler. I was like, no,
what's wrong?
When was there a water cooler?
I hated this too, just from here on out. Like, this was so crazy. And I wanted so bad, tell me if you felt the same way, I wanted so bad for the mother creature to just be dead. Because, I mean, I know we're already over the top strength here, but, you leap off the water tower and you're probably dead. But she saved Tess, right? Okay, maybe Tess didn't die because she broke her fall. Maybe.
But how? Because Tess was falling.
Yeah.
And then the mother jumped. But apparently she had such force when she jumped. She was able to go down like she was fucking skydiving. I mean, and maybe flip around. And, yeah, that's true. She's very strong.
I could have been okay with that. I could have been okay with it had she died. And Tess had stayed alive just long enough to fucking kill AJ. I think that would have been a much better ending. Because it's less over the top. I mean, it's still over the top, but it's less over the top. Both of them survived that fall? Are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
Come on.
Ridiculous. Maybe kill AJ and then leap to your death, or I don't know. I can say when she was... I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but I'm just going to say it. When she was over Tess... She's like, Bubba. She kisses her and Tess has the gun and she kisses her head. And she's picking her up, not to drag her back down to, keep her tortured into the cave. She does want to drag her back to home. Yeah. Though that's what she sees home. But then Tess is like, she can't. It's painful. And so she puts her down. She's like so loving in that moment that I was like, I don't know. To my daughter, I was like, well, I don't know. What do you think? Like, maybe I would have been like, hey, like, let's go get help. Like, maybe she could
saved her.
Maybe
she could have saved her.
Reacclimated her. And my daughter goes, Mom, there was no saving that woman. And I'm like, I know. I probably would have shot her as well. But there was that moment where she's not a bad character. She's not.
No.
She's tortured herself and she's loving. And the other people who have screamed and yelled and fought, she just saw as aggressive and saw as a threat.
A threat, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so Tess was someone who wasn't that way and she wanted to care for her and she didn't know any other way. So you really do, it's comical. And on the other hand, though, you do get that kind of, you feel bad for her element because she's a victim. She's a victim as well.
100%. Yes. Yeah. And I do feel like Tess shooting her is just putting her out of her misery.
Oh, because she's not going to be acclimated to society.
No, but I think that's a nice thought.
Can I tell you this? The director, so people ask, is there going to be a Barbarian 2? And the director said, there will not be any Barbarian 2. He said, what would it be? I always joke when people ask me this. Yeah, the mother has to go get her driver's license and get a GED and try to reintegrate into society. And he said, I'd watch that movie, but I wouldn't make it.
I like that you were like, this is what I want to watch. This didn't even cross my mind.
And he says,
I would watch it.
He goes, I would watch it, but I'm not going to make that movie, but I would watch it.
Oh, that's very funny. Okay, no, let me tell you my idea for a sequel, which is not as outrageous. I thought at some point when she was down in the tunnels trying to save AJ, because I was really clinging on to a few things. The first thing I was clinging on to was that I loved Bill Skarsgård's character Keith. I really wanted him to not be dead.
Yeah.
And then later, in the tunnels, I think it's her. I think Tess hears a scream in a different direction.
Yeah.
Than where AJ is, right? Did you pick up on this too?
I thought so too. I thought, oh shit, there's lots of people down here. That's what I thought.
I kind of thought, again, because I really liked Keith, I was like, maybe that's Keith. Maybe he didn't die, right? And then the guy says, there's scarier things down there than her. And I think in this movie it's supposed to be the father, Frank. But I thought, but you said earlier too, like there's all these other tunnels that we didn't even explore. There could be other, incestuous creatures hanging around. Like we don't fucking know. And so that's what I thought is like a sequel could be that he's still alive, Keith, down in the tunnels, and like the rescuing of Keith so that they can have a romance later, okay?
Yeah, maybe there's a rescue of Keith and some other, like, what about, we don't know how old the mother is. Maybe the mother's mother is alive.
Yeah.
And like some other people down there. Like, what if the sequel is the excavating of this house of horrors?
Yeah. And there's so much more that we just didn't even get to see, right? Because we're only in there for a little bit. And so I think there's sequel material.
Has everybody totally died but the mother?
Yeah.
Like, where's yeah. How about other Airbnb people?
Yeah, they could be there. Totally.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's that outrageous that there could be another story to be told here.
I think, gosh, this movie, that's why it's so conflicting. There's terrifying ideas and then there's like kind of comical, outrageous ideas. The whole story, like this could be multiple movies. The story of the man that kidnapped people and put them in the dungeon and had babies and all of that is fucking a movie in and of itself that's terrifying. Or the generations of people that are trapped down there. The Airbnb not really being an Airbnb, but being actual allure and a trap. That's terrifying. There's lots of options to terrifying movies in this particular movie.
Yeah. There's a lot to it. And I think, I don't know. I mean, we had such a long discussion about it. I feel like there's something to it. And Jade and I talked about it all the way home. Like, we talked about it all the way home. And once we got home, we kept talking about it. And I just was like, there was something to this. There really was something to it, I think, you know? And it was outrageous and it was crazy. But I'm going to compare it to Malignant. I think Malignant felt very shallow to me. It was like an homage to giallo films and filmmaking, and like, I don't understand that world, so maybe I'm just ignorant on that, but it felt shallow to me. This movie felt like it had a point to make, and the point that I got, the theme of it, and you can tell me, because it sounds like you did some research on some of this, I liked the gendered themes of like men and there was like a spectrum of men in this movie that were, I'm trying to think of the right word.
I think it's really fascinating that you can't, as a woman, discern who is the good man and who is the bad man. What's the good situation? What's the bad situation?
Yeah, but I think there's the spectrum, right? Because you have Keith's character, who's a good guy.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, his ultimate sin is that he doesn't believe her. Right? Like it's not like he victimized her in any sort of way, other than he just didn't fucking believe. Yeah,
she's just an overly emotional woman.
Right.
You know, that whole, stereotype. Overly emotional, overly scared. I'm the man. I'll come in and make this right. You just calm down.
Right, exactly.
I'll go see what's really going on.
Which is like a very low level of like, I don't know what the right word is. Like just being a dick to women, I guess. I don't know. Sorry, but that's the only way that I can think to put it right now.
Yeah.
And then you have Justin Long's character, AJ, who wants to think that he's a good guy, but absolutely raped this woman and made her do something against her will, even if she felt like she wanted to be doing it in the beginning. We don't know. We weren't there, but like he characterizes it as if they were having a good time in the beginning and then he raped her. At any point, no is no, obviously. And so this guy's a fucking asshole because he doesn't recognize that. But he's in the middle where he like doesn't know, am I good or am I bad? And then on the furthest end, you have Frank, Richard Drake, is that his name?
Yeah.
Character. He's like actively victimizing women, following them home, opening their doors so that he can come back and kidnap them, raping them to have children with them, and then raping those children. Like it is the gamut. And that is ultimately what I got out of this movie is like, I feel like it's not, obviously it's not black and white in the real world, but you see these two female characters in the movie and they're caring. They really like want to save the people. They're motherly, and they see other men as threats. It just felt like, I mean, isn't that the world that we live in? I don't know. I feel like it really resonated with me, that part of it,
Yeah. You said that so well. You're absolutely right. And we've talked about this before. When anybody, and even if you're a man, don't lie, men out there. If you're watching any movie whatsoever, or any real news, hostage crisis, any type of news, anything. If a woman is involved, even if rape isn't the intent, you're worried that those fucking women are going to get raped, right?
Yes.
No matter what movie, there's like some other reason, that you are held hostage. Maybe it's totally money driven. Maybe it's land, maybe like pillaging, whatever it is. If you're a woman, you better be fucking worried that for some reason, there's going to be some rape involved. Like
Yes.
the man captor gets bored and you're going to get raped. This is just what we have to live with. And yeah,
Yes.
I absolutely love. So this brings me to the two quotes I do have. And trivia is very minimal, of course, because this is a very new movie. So I read some other articles, and one of the articles I really liked was from Variety, and it was an interview with Cregger. And so Cregger explains that he views Tess and AJ as mirroring each other. So it's two sides of the same coin, he explains. The beginning of the movie is a woman desperately trying to assess threat and trying to determine if she's with a predator or not, which is a daily basis, no matter where I go. He goes, I read this book, The Gift of Fear, that informed all of this and woke me up to the idea that men and women coexist in this common space, but we share alien psychic landscapes. Men do not have to be assessing threat like women do. So that was the story of the first chunk. And then the second chunk is the polar opposite. It's a man who is causing all of this damage and he's oblivious to it. He's not assessing anything about himself. And so they are spiritual twins. They are just the inverse of each other, and they have to both pass through the same gauntlet. AJ fails the test. Tess passes the test. It's really twins going through the same crux. And he also says, while writing Barbarian, both the mother and AJ and the subsequent twists were not initially planned out. He says, I didn't know that the twist and the mother character existed until the moment they appeared, he said. And when the mother appeared and they ended that chapter, I thought, it's over. There's no movie here. It's a 40-minute fun short, and that's not anything at all. So I'm done. And then I just didn't want to leave it alone. I got so much pleasure out of writing it, and I was like, I have to come back to it. How can I come back into this world from the opposite direction? And that's where everything kicked back off for me. It wasn't a calculation. It was just me wanting to keep it going somehow, and it was just a joyful process.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love hearing about that, the way that it came about.
Yeah.
And it feels like a fun movie, despite like the heavy themes and ties to reality. Like, it was fun in the end.
Yeah, I agree. I like how much thought he put into it. I'm so glad that I read more of the research and it wasn't like, I don't know, fuck it. I just thought it would be cool. You know, there was a lot of thought, and a lot of the themes that we saw in it were actually what he was going for. He wanted us to think about, and honestly, not that he wanted us to think about it, he discovered himself through writing this and through reading that book and stuff like that. I don't know. I think that's why it's so hard. I personally feel like I can feel the gravity of it and the dread and the fear and the importance of it. And then there's those really over the top absurd moments.
Yeah.
That make it conflicting. So I see why people go either way.
God, I really wish that had been reeled in, but I just keep coming back to, did it need to be there so it wasn't as heavy of a movie?
Yeah, like,
I mean, I didn't like it personally. I totally, myself 100%, I would have loved the darker version of this. You know,
so maybe they found people trapped on there. There wasn't like a woman just trying to nurse them with a bottle and shit. Like,
I think all of that, I think the idea could have been there. I definitely think the Looney Tunes fucking rubber nipple bottle could have been lost. I think we could have fucking got that out of there. I think having her speak was too much, you know, or if you had her speak, had it been creepier rather than just kind of funny, you know? I think those things would have helped a lot.
Yeah.
And that I like, so it wasn't the idea that was comedic, it was the moments, right? And also just the disgust. I think once you get into disgust, there's no way to go other than vomiting or laughing, right? Those are kind of your two outs from that moment. And so it always ends up being funny. That's
true. That's a really good point.
So I don't like it because of that, because I want to be scared. I don't want to just, I mean, I don't hate horror comedy, but we've talked many times that that's not our favorite genre. I want to be scared. I want you to scare me. And so I would have been okay with this movie being even more true to reality and scarier and more fucked up. But I recognize that that's not you probably don't make your money back on a wider audience. You know what I mean? So I get why people, like an audience at large wouldn't like that. That's why I keep coming back to like, maybe you needed that, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we could have kept the dark comedy of Justin Long's character.
Yeah,
because that's who he was as a person.
Yeah.
But really delving into what is this creature, person like, that it would have been scary. She would have had no sense of actual reality of what's going on upstairs. What is a person that has been inbred for so much, right? A product of incest, many, many generations of incest, only has that video, which I liked how they looped in why she's watching that video, because that's the video that he got. So that's the only, from the store. So it's the only reality that she has. All of the generations of torture and rape that has been experienced down there. So what does she look like truly? And what is her reactions truly? I think that would have been more emotional and more terrifying and not comical at fucking all.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I just don't like that she survived.
Okay, she's going to jump off the thing. She's not good. Maybe she jumps off after a baby, but she's going to die.
Yeah, and then it would. The thing about the theme is, I would have really liked for Tess to kill AJ because of the theme. She's ending the cycle of violence, you know?
Yeah.
But that's not what happened, and I felt like that was weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Well, everybody, that's Barbarian.
God damn, that was a fucking...
You know what's so crazy is you see this movie has barely any trivia. It's brand new. We talked for 2.5 hours about it enjoyably. It doesn't even feel like we've talked that long.
Yeah.
You just never know. You just never know. And that says something about the movie, I think.
I think so too. I really ended up liking it so much in the end. Like, it was so wild. And I feel like I would normally hate a movie like this. I don't know. It's just something about it's the heart. It's the heart and the intention and the themes that I feel like were present. And I was like, I'm here for this, you know?
Yeah. The acting was good. The filming was beautiful. Like, it was scary.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to move into rating it. So let's do that. Tawny, what are you thinking for your rating for this movie?
Well, our discussion has bumped it up. I was coming in at I was thinking I would give it like a 3.5, but the fact that we were able to talk about it for so long and that there's so much to it, and I really feel like this movie has heart, even though it has moments that I do not like and that I think are comedic in a way that I don't appreciate. I'm going to give this bitch a 4.
Oh shit, that's really, really good. Oh my god, Tawny. That's a really good score.
Yes.
Oh, a 4.
A 4.
That's really, really good.
I didn't think I would come in that high, but after our conversation, I'm convinced.
Yeah.
Maybe. I say that now, but I might change it later, but
no,
probably
that's
not.
So good. That's such a great score. Okay, a 4. Yeah, I can see that. I can see it. So I think I'm going to give this movie. Yeah. Okay. I saw another movie. I did this too. I'm going to give this movie, bringing it up from a 3.25, I'm going to give it a 3.75.
Okay.
I gave Candyman that. Totally different movies, but I think I liked it on the same level for different reasons. So 3.75 for this movie. That's crazy. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy because when I think about it and think how much Steve would hate it, and like I totally get why people are like, oh my God, this movie is not good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I did too. I feel the same way that I shocked myself. I fucking hate when a main character dies halfway through the movie. Fucking hate it. It's one of my least favorite things because I want to follow that person. I want to root for them. But I think it was very smart to have two main characters in the very beginning, that one of them dies and the other one, we're like, we still keep following. So I don't know. I feel like it was a really smart play, and something about it really worked. Even despite my, I don't know, the way that I would normally feel about it, but.
Just look past the rubber nipple bottle that only exists in Looney Tunes.
Stupid.
I mean, they must have came up with that in Looney Tunes from some era, but it definitely wasn't. I do not believe the 80s used bottles like that.
No, it had been way before that. Ridiculous. But, God.
I literally just Googled 1980 baby bottles, and they looked exactly like the baby bottles we use today. So
yeah, ridiculous. Oh,
ridiculous. But definitely, we would recommend you go see it. At the end of the day, we highly recommend you go see it, and we're curious to hear what you think about it.
Way better than Malignant.
I've never seen that, but now I know.
It's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. But.
Oh my God, that was so much fun. The hours zoomed by. I didn't even feel it. So definitely next movie we are watching, I'm very excited to watch it actually. It feels like it's going to be right up my alley, is Possum. So I'm going to be watching Possum next, and I'm very much looking forward to that. It was Tawny had recommended it, and I'm like, oh yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, to be just to let everybody know. Scary September is what we're doing. So we're trying to be scared. We're trying to watch very scary movies. And Possum, neither of us have seen, but people recommend it when you talk about Caveat. And we really liked Caveat. So here we are. Hopefully it doesn't suck.
So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, me too.
If you want to engage with us more, go to @2chicksandahorrorflick on Instagram. You can also go to 2chicksandahorrorflick.com. That will lead you to all the different things, whether it's your favorite social media platform that we're on, or you want to buy some cool ass merch, or you would like to join our horror Discord community. Please do. You can find the links to all of that stuff on Instagram or our webpage. So head over there. And what else, Tawny?
If you want to support the show, you can go to our Patreon, or you can give us a like, review, and subscribe on whatever podcatcher you're listening to us on. But that's it, so we'll see you next week. We hope you have such a good night. No nightmares.